My name is Jakub Szamalek. I'm a story writer for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and you're watching Eurogamer.
Greetings gamers, I'm Ian from Eurogamer, and at this year's Gamescom I was blown away by a 15-minute demo of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I wasn't able to get any footage of the demo to share with you, CD Projekt are keeping it tightly under wraps for now, but I did get to speak to Jakub Szamalek, a story writer on the game, so I asked him to explain to you guys what they were showing off.
Showed a side quest which takes place in one of the many regions you'll get to explore in The Witcher 3. It's the Skellige Islands, which are based on Nordic mythology and legends and history. And in this side quest, Geralt is approached by a local community which has a problem with a monster. And the problem also is that some of the villagers think that this monster, even though it kills some of the inhabitants, is in the long run is actually helping them in a way, and is somehow beneficial to the community. Whereas others, the new generation, think that this is just a myth and a legend, and that the monster has to be done away with. And Geralt is the one that needs to make a decision, to make his choice. So he then embarks on a quest to find out more about this monster and see who, in his opinion, is right, and then he chooses what to do.
The outcome of that mission was rather unexpected, wasn't it? And it showcased the fact that the choices in the Witcher games are never really black and white.
That's a hallmark of our franchise, and that's something that we're definitely sticking to in the third installment of the Witcher series. So the choices are never easy. They're never obvious between white and black and good and bad. It's always choosing the lesser evil. And of course, we are also trying to make the consequences both logical at the same time difficult to foresee, so that you don't really know what you will be up to after you make a decision. And one of the ways we accomplish that is that you usually don't learn about the consequences of your decision straight away, but only a certain time. So you can't just load your save file and try a different option and see what happens. So introducing that means that players really have to think twice before choosing an option, and they just can't go on autopilot, clicking whatever and seeing what happens. We know that these decisions are difficult, and that sometimes they might be no good option really, but we think that this is what makes you really feel the story and identify with the character, because Geralt of Rivia lives in a very difficult world, and he has to make this choice at the same time, be able to look himself in the eyes in the mirror. So it is a difficult choice, but it's something that really gets you immersed into this grim world.
Just make it quick, Geralt.
One of the biggest changes to The Witcher 3 is that it has now gone open world. Can you tell us about this change and give us a sense of scale when it comes to the size of this new world?
The Witcher 3 will be roughly 35 times bigger than The Witcher 2, so it's really a huge increase. And it's not a uniform world, it's not just one region, it's actually a few regions which the players will get to explore, and they're very different. So the demo showed the Skellige Islands, which are based on Norse mythology and myth and history, and actually we went quite deep with the research, consulting medieval sagas and archaeological reports to make sure that it's actually feels real and interesting. And this is inhabited by this land is inhabited by proud and honorable people who dream of doing heroic deeds and dying a heroic death. And then on the other hand, you have regions such as the No Man's Land, which is a land ravaged by wars, sparsely populated by small and close-knit communities which are very distrustful of the newcomers, where people are trying to make ends meet in a land which has been devastated by the war in a very extreme conditions, and they don't care about honor at all. They care about what to put in their pot the next day. And this is a world based on Slavic mythology, legends, and it has a feel of Grimm's Brothers' Tale, so it's a very dark place. And also we have, for example, the city of Novigrad with the surrounded fields and forests. It's the biggest city in the Witcher world and inhabited by nobles, powerful merchants. And here again, it's not about the honor, but it's not about the food, of course, because they're all wealthy people. But it's about power and gold, and this is what motivates people. This is what they care about. So in each of these locations, you will see different places, very different environment, inhabited by people who think differently, have different aims, and are shaped by different cultures. So even though it's a huge world, we didn't go for a uniform environment, but something that is really diverse and will keep you interested in spite of its length and size.
35 times bigger than The Witcher 2 is a pretty epic size. What kind of things have you done to make sure traversing this huge land isn't one long, boring hike across barren terrain?
First of all, we knew that creating such a big world means that we need to add new ways of exploring it. So now a Geralt of Rivia can not only run and walk, but he can also ride a horse or sail a boat. And these are actually exciting new possibilities which invite you to explore not only the land but the seas as well, and see what lies behind the horizon, what's on this rocky islet, and what's in the cave up there. So that's something that we want to introduce. And also we create interesting environments where there's always something intriguing that you would like to check out. And of course you can use fast travel to get back to places you've already visited. So there's a number, and of course this is a living world, a living ecosystem with of course monsters, with small communities in between large settlements. And of course there will be random things happening on your way, as in a good old school pen and paper RPGs. You never know what the dice will show, and we really think that this is a world you will want to spend a lot of time in.
One of the most interesting points of the demo was where Geralt used his Witcher skills to track down a monster he was hunting. Monster hunting is also new to the series, and there's now a whole new philosophy surrounding how monsters are fought in this game. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Again, in the small world of The Witcher 2, it was fine to have a simplified mechanic for fighting monsters. So, witches, of course, are monster slayers, and it's a part of their life and the job to go and help local communities with monsters which are pestering them. And in The Witcher 2, we just grab a contract and then go for a particular monster that the contract was for. And it was fun, but it was sort of a simple sort of gameplay. And here we go beyond that, and we create a system which allows you to feel more like a Witcher, and also makes monsters more interesting and more intriguing. So when you get a contract, you don't actually know what exactly you're facing, because the villagers that you're helping out do not have the same knowledge you do. So we advise the player, though this is not obligatory, to actually learn more about your opponent they're supposed to defeat, so that they can talk to witnesses about what they saw. They can examine the bodies of the victims to see how they have been killed. They can look at the footprints, the claw markings, and then, having amassed all these bits of information, they can combine them and use the Witcher knowledge to identify the opponent they're targeting. And then, knowing its strengths and weaknesses, they can prepare for the fight and win it. And this is especially important since we won't be scaling our opponents. So even in the early stages of the game, you can bump into monsters which will be really tough opponents. So it's well advised that you feel respect for them and prepare. And also, our monsters are really diverse, not only in terms of appearance. They're not the same animation on different models doing the same things. Each of them has a unique element, a unique feel, or a trick that they can use on Geralt. So, for example, in the demo we showed two monsters. One of them is a powerful creature which can sort of hypnotize Geralt and influence how he sees things. So suddenly combat becomes much more difficult when the vision is limited. And we have another monster which is a forest spirit, and as such feels very at home in a forest, can influence the environment, can influence other inhabitants of the forest, so it can disappear in the fog and can call on other animals to help him in combat. So you have to take that into account and get ready for the confrontation with the monster that you are supposed to fight.
Like I said at the start of the video, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt demo was jaw-dropping. The next generation graphics bringing to life this huge open world in an incredibly realistic way. If you've never paid attention to the Witcher series before, but loved games like Oblivion and Skyrim, now's the time to sit up and start taking notes, because it doesn't take a witch or a warlock to foresee that this game is going to be something pretty damn special. We will of course have more Witcher 3 content for you in the future here on Eurogamer's YouTube channel, as well as plenty more exclusive interviews and interactive live streams, so please do chuck us a subscribe by clicking on that on-screen annotation. Hey wait, who's that guy?
I'm Geralt of Rivia, the Witcher.